Hi, welcome to the Grader program. In today's lecture, we're going to be looking at the Grader program, and what the Grader program does is it asks the user for their grade as a percentage, and then it tells the user whether they have an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. And it achieves this using an extended if-else loop. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So I have the program typed up. We're going to look through it line by line and then analyze the output after that. So let's start off. So we start off with the file name as a comment, as an end-of-line comment. Here we have imported the scanner class from the Java class libraries from the java.util package, and we're using the import statement. Here we're declaring the class, which is going to be called Grader, and that's the name of the file, grader.java. And next up we are having a main method declaration. So public static void main string args, and then here we're declaring the scanner object, which is going to be s. So scanner s equals new scanner system.in, and here we're declaring s as our scanner. And the system.in is referred to as the argument, and this is a new keyword, and the type is scanner. And next we are declaring int grade, which is a variable named grade of the integer type, and what it is it's basically the grade of the user. And the reason we're not assigning it a value is because this variable is dependent on whatever the user inputs. So once we get what they input, we can determine what the value of the grade variable is. So next, we're going to print out enter your grade as a percentage. And once we prompt the user to enter their grade as a percentage, and then once they enter their grade, we'll save it to the grade variable. So once they put in the they put in the integer which represents their grade percentage, we're going to use the s, which is the scanner object dot next int method, and that's going to get the integer that they input, and we're going to assign it to using this assignment operator. We're going to assign it to its value to grade. Now that we know what the value of grade is, the next thing that's left to do is to determine whether this grade is an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. So let's scroll down here. So here, as you can see, this entire thing is an extended if-else loop. And let's take a look at the first condition right here. So if grade is greater than or equal to 90, which basically means if the integer that the user has inputted is greater than 90, we're going to print out your grade is an A. And then if it's not greater than 90, so it's not higher than 90, but it is higher than 80, so this comes out to be true, this condition right here, then we're going to print out your grade is a B. Now as you can see, the first time we used the if keyword. Here we're using the else and the if keyword because we're using another if. So besides the first one, everything else starts with else if. Now let's say that they don't even have a grade higher than an 80. So we know their grade is not higher than an 80, but if it's higher than a 70, and this comes out to be true, then we're gonna say your grade is a C. And if we manage to make it past this with all false conditions over here, we'll look at this condition and we'll check if their grade is greater than a 70. Now because the previous three conditions came out to be false, we know that their grade cannot be higher than 70, but if it is higher than 60, and then we'll print out that their grade is a D. And else, which means that their grade is less than 60, it's an F. So if none of these conditions are met, it's not greater than 90, it's not greater than 80, it's not greater than 70, it's not greater than 60, it'll print out your grade is an F. And this is a simple else if statement, if else extended statement, and basically what it's doing is it's checking different conditions one by one, grade by grade, to see if any of them matches the situation of the user. And if none of them do, then the grade is an F, because then it obviously has to be less than 60. So let's run this program once and see what comes up. So here I'm going to compile the program, and here I'm going to run the program. So let's say it's a smart person like you, and your grade is 100. So then the system prints out your grade is an A, because what happened is the grade variable got a value of 100, and then as it started to go through the first condition, it said if 100 or grade is greater than 90, you print this out. So because this was greater than 90, it automatically printed this out and skipped the rest of this. So notice that if it didn't skip the rest of this, it would look through each condition, and all of this would get printed out, this would get printed out. But once one of the conditions was met, one body with a statement was executed, and after that all of the other bodies and blocks were skipped. So once one condition comes out to be true, its body is executed, and all of the other blocks or bodies are skipped over. Let's try with a different grade. So let's say that this person does not have higher than a 90. Let's say they have a 85, a solid B. So the computer should print out your grade is a B. Let's run it. Okay, so yes, as you can see, it printed out your grade is a B. So now let's look at it from the eyes of the computer. So for the computer, it's if 85 is greater than or equal to 90. So we know that 85 is not greater than or equal to 90, so this becomes false. So then this block or this statement is skipped. Then it goes to the next else if. Now over here you can see is if 85 is greater than or equal to 80, which is true, and because it's true, this is what gets printed out. And then once the true condition has come, it skips the remaining conditions because we've already got one true condition. Now let's take a look at another example. Let's give it a different value. Let's give it a 61. Let's say you struggled to pass the class. 61. And as you can see, it comes out your grade is a D. So how this works, 61 is greater than or equal to 90. That is false. So because it's false, nothing is executed. 61 is greater than or equal to 80. That's false, so nothing is executed. 61 is greater than or equal to 70. That's false, so nothing is executed. 61 is greater than or equal to 60. That's true, so then this is executed, and your grade is a D is printed out. And the last example we'll be looking at is when we have lower than a 60 and where, the student is really struggling in the class. So let's try that out this time. So let's say they have a 34%. So their grade should be an F. So let's try it out. And it says your grade is an F. So that's correct. And why does it say that? Because the grade is not greater than or equal to 90, so this is skipped. The grade is not greater than or equal to 80, so this body is skipped. The grade is not greater than or equal to 70, so this is skipped. And the grade is not greater than or equal to 60, so this is skipped. And now that's out of condition, so it has to go to the else block because there's nothing else. So now that there's an else block, it goes to that and it prints this out. Now if there wasn't an else block at all, let's say if this was removed, and we did this, nothing would print out at all because none of the conditions are met, and then there's nothing it has to print out because there's no else block. But because there is an else block, it runs that instead. So this concludes this lecture. We looked at the grader.java program, and we basically asked the user for an integer percentage of his or her grade, and we interpreted that percentage using an extended if-else statement to see what letter grade the user had. And the extended if-else statement is often used when you have multiple different conditions you want to